Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review, no, not a review, sorry, almost said review there, but I'm doing a video on my thoughts on Dalek Universe. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's a new sort of 10th Doctor box set, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty mad. I'm still trying to get my head around it. Like, I'm not 100% sure on all the details. I did have a look at the Big Finish audio website, and I'm pretty sure it's got like a companion from the 4th Doctor's 9th series, or maybe 8th, I can't remember now. There's been so many 4th Doctor adventure series, which as a big 4th Doctor fan I am happy about, but by the same token, my wallet maybe isn't. But yeah, so I think from the trailer, can I just say, is absolutely stunning. I do wish there was more of the actual episodes maybe in the trailer, or like a bit more of a flavour for the series maybe, but to be fair, that's more, if you want more of that information you will probably have to go on the Big Finish website to get that. You don't really get much from the trailer, but yeah, either way, it's pretty insane to think that next year, 2021, first month from Big Finish, at least Doctor Who wise, first month we will get the Masterful box set. Then you will get in April, 5th of April I think this comes out, Dalek Universe. I keep wanting to say Dark Universe, but it's Dalek Universe comes out then. And then in May the 9th Doctor box set comes out, like official proper 9th Doctor one, which is just insane. Like, and that's just like, as I say, the first sort of first 5 months of next year. That's not even like, that's less than half of the first bit of the year next year, and they've already got, as I said, those 3 big heavy hitters, which is just insane. Pertwee Smith 11 made the valid point that like it's gonna be like it's kind of like reminded him of like Dark Eyes, but with the 10th Doctor, so that'll be really interesting. I'll be honest, when I first saw this I assumed it was I just assumed it was going to be a Time Lord Victorious thing, or thing that was with that, to do with that, because it had the 10th Doctor. I didn't realise that it was going to be like this thing that sort of, I'm not set sort of pre-Time War, but with the 10th Doctor, but in a timeline where the Time War has happened, I think. Or is going to happen, I think. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure actually where this sets, or where this is set in the 10th Doctor timeline. But either way, it's got Daleks, it's got Mechanoids, it's got Davros apparently. So that'll be really interesting. I was thinking as well with the unfortunate, for me at least, in my opinion, thing of like having Terry Malloy in the 8th Doctor Time War box sets. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Terry Malloy is fantastic as Davros, but I honestly thought they were gonna, I thought the big hook was that they were going to get Julian Bleach back as Davros in that box set, but I really am hoping that they get him for this box set, for the 10th Doctor one, because like, don't get me wrong, again, I do think Davros or Terry Malloy's interpretation of Davros is so really good and great, but in my head I always draw the line of like pre sort of remembrance any story around that sort of era, or 8th Doctor era, or 8th Doctor, or sort of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th Doctor sort of Davros I see as Terry Malloy, sort of John Hurt, Time War onwards I see as Julian Bleach. That's in my opinion and for me. But onto this trailer, it starts with the sort of TARDIS really close up on the police call box, and all the press or pull to open sign, and that, or push to, or pull, or whatever sign, and then sort of zooms out. One thing I will say that sort of threw me off is that I'm pretty sure they're using maybe the Jodie Whittaker, or maybe a newer, different model of the TARDIS exterior. I don't think that's actually Tennant and Eccleston's TARDIS exterior even. I meant to say exterior, not interior. But as I say, I think it's really weird because it's like, it's a chunkier box. I mean, I know most people don't like the box, but if you're going to specifically do a trailer for the 10th Doctor Dalek Universe, I think you should at least try and get the right box. But other than that, it was flawless. That's like my only critique. or major critique. Everything else would be just a bit of a nitpick, like having more of like an actual bit with some other characters or trailer or something. But as a CG sort of trailer by essentially, I think, two fans, it's pretty damn superb. Like, you know, and Tennant narrating it is phenomenal. He's got a very good voice for narration, you know, like McGann, and that. And yeah, I one thing, again, a bit of a niggle, but not so much of a sort of technical niggle like the TARDIS thing that I just mentioned. But one thing that kind of pissed me off, if I'm being honest, was the fact that he's like, oh, I've lost lots of people. I've lost, you know, my own people. I've lost Donna, Rose, my own people. Oh, he's already said his own people. Then he says like Donna and Rose. Because I thought when he said Donna, then I thought it was going to go, and Martha and Rose. But they cut Martha out. Like, they just completely cut Martha out. And I'm just there like, really? Really? You're going to say you lost your own people, Donna and Rose, and then just leave Martha? I mean, I guess technically she left him, so I can kind of get it. But it is still a bit of like, are you really that much of a dick? Or are you that much of a prick and or dick to Martha, and that then she has to feel like she should step away from the Doctor, and then for him to be in this situation where everything's ending, or like every story ever told ends in death if you tell the story long enough, which is a fantastic sort of bit of like writing. Whoever wrote that, 10 out of 10. Like, that's really, really good. Like, really phenomenal stuff there, because again, it just had me in like this weird like thing of like, wait, shit, is he going to regenerate in this? Of course he's not, but like, kind of just made me think, whoa, shit, are they're going to kill off Tennant? but yeah, and then before you even see the Daleks in the trailer, like, I have a very good eye, I think, I want to say, good eye, citizen, and I noticed that there was like a Dalek saucer and or ship in the background before the Daleks appear in this, and then before that there's like a part of a mechanoid sort of creature and that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. And then there's just a lot of fire and a lot of like just debris and stuff. Really epic and cinematic, really, is probably the best way I can describe this trailer. If you haven't already watched it, please do feel free to watch it. It's free on YouTube, on the Big Finish YouTube channel, like the Two Big Finish channel, and that. And it's really phenomenal, really good sort of CG trailer for one of the box sets. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped. I really do want to get this box set because I'm a massive fan of Daleks, and although I'm not the biggest 10th Doctor fan, I feel like with the amount of content that's coming out with him, and also the fact that David Tennant, regardless of what I think of him as the Doctor or how he was portraying the Doctor, I think he is a phenomenal actor. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and I think he's like the expanded universe sort of stuff with the comics and the Doctor Who magazines, the comics, the audios in particular in this case, can give him a lot more mature, darker themes and a lot more, for lack of a better term, fat to chew on, you know, like, and a lot more. I feel like he's really going to be able to push the character and the envelope and that as the character in these sort of expanded universe sort of things, as opposed to being just the sort of swashbuckling hero archetype, you know, that he was in the TV show. Which, don't get me wrong, I loved as a child, but as I say, I think as a young adult now, I've kind of grown out of personally, and that. But I just love the fact that he is still very able to have this Doctor-esque like persona. He's very, yeah. He's. I'm just thinking back to Out of Time. He felt like he was just somehow being plucked straight out of like 2006, 7 and 8, like Doctor Who, and was just doing that as though he was still Doctor Who, even though it's like 10 years since he was Doctor Who. It's mad. But in this, he feels more like Dark Eyes McGann, you know, so he's clearly a phenomenal actor. He can do both. He can be quite Tom Bakery, but he can be quite dark McGannish, and that, for lack of a better term, which I quite like, honestly, and that. And yeah, I wonder if he's going to be flying solo in these. I feel like maybe he might not be. There might be some Dalek resistance characters. I feel like the people in black. There's also like a really cool epic sort of poster that comes with this, or has been floating around social media, and that, which isn't part of this trailer, but that's pretty cool. And that, and then yeah, at the end you do get some Daleks, and you get like blown up Daleks that are exploding and whatnot. Because like, yeah, like he's like, everything ends, and as long as you, oh, for as long as you tell a story, even the story ends in death if you tell it long enough. And yeah, I've lost everyone like Rose and Donna, or Donna, Rose, my own people, and then he's like, but some things always come back, or some things never change, or something to that effect. And then yeah, eventually, spoiler alert, pans to some Daleks, exploded Daleks to be fair, so you know, they will, those ones in particular won't be causing him too much trouble, hopefully. But yeah, I'm really curious what they're going to do. I mean, it's kind of mad to think there are people still making new, innovative things with Daleks, which I'm ecstatic about. Don't get me wrong, I adore the Daleks. Daleks are probably one of my favourite Doctor Who villains and or baddies, like, and that, and also, as I say, I grew up with Tennant and or Eccleston / Tennant, you know, during primary school sort of thing. So to get a, for lack of a better term, darker portrayal, or closer to Dark Eyes-esque portrayal of the 10th Doctor, if that's the case, will be amazing. Hopefully they still retain some level of maybe humour and some happy-go-lucky nature, maybe. But again, it's always a very fine line and a balancing act with any Doctor Who story, I think. The level of sort of angst and emo-y angst and war-tornness, and the, as I say, humour and the outlandish, you know, would you like a jelly baby, you know, nature of, you know, your Tom Bakers and your Alonzes of your 10th Doctors. So yeah, it'll just be interesting to see what the finished product is, or at least I think so. So yeah, those were my sporadic, very strange, very weird thoughts on the Dalek, Doctor Who Dalek universe sort of box set. And that's another thing, that it's the first ever time we've had like a big full-on audio drama box set with the 10th Doctor, which it's about time, because, you know, he's had 3 sort of little mini-series with single releases, which you could get in special edition box sets, but technically they were still 3 standalone stories. First series with, you know, Donna, second with Rose, and then I think the third one with Rose as well. They've unfortunately again never done one with Freema, so again, I really do wish one day we might get Freema back as Martha Jones. That would be awesome, because I think she's kind of underrated, and kind of badass, really. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe.